Hi everyone. So I saw this thing on Facebook the other day that actually said instead of referring to age as I'm such and such years old, we should refer to it as levels. Because, the sound of I'm at the 42nd level sounds so much better than I'm 42 years old. I like it. I think I'm going to try it. No, I wanted to pop by and talk about authenticity. I have learned quite a bit through, my experiences and a lot of my friends' experiences and stuff like that. And I wanted to talk about the fact that people really react much better to authenticity. And one of the good things about authenticity is that it's something that you can actually practice by yourself at first if you want to. Because being authentic to yourself is one of the really key things. Being truthful to yourself, being good to yourself, being true to yourself, that's something that really helps boost, boost your mood. It helps boost your courage. It helps boost your confidence. I was talking to these kids the other day, and just something really silly about, oh, I really like those Cheetos. I've tried those, and we got kind of a dialect going. It was really cool. And they actually stopped back by, gave me these bracelets. So I was very grateful for that, and it was because I was authentic. I was myself. I was happy and silly. And, it took a lot for me to get to that point, like I'm always telling my kids to embrace their weirdness because that's what makes them unique and that's what makes them you, I've had a lot of people, ask me, well, tell me a story or something that happened to them, and they would say, well, was that weird? And I'll answer, yeah, but it was cool. So, I mean, even in things like, looking for jobs, you want to be your authentic self. You want to be true to yourself, If they have an idea that, doesn't really sound particularly appealing to you, try saying that 3 times fast, be true to yourself, be true to it. Say, well, is there another way that we might be able to do this, And if not, just being true that maybe that job wasn't for you. I mean, maybe it was one of those jobs that, you would have been completely miserable in, and nobody wants that. That's not fair. You don't deserve that, And that's one of the things being authentic to yourself is really good with as well, is understanding, what you do deserve and what you don't deserve. Because you don't deserve to be treated with disrespect. You don't deserve to be treated with malice. That's not fair to you. That's not being true to yourself. Being authentic with yourself is sitting down and having that hard conversation with yourself first, you know, and actually analyzing what it is that, you know, is hurting you, and then find something that heals you, you know. When it came to discipline, you know, my grandma would always say you have to equal out the hits to the hugs type of thing, you know, or the swats to the hugs, we'll put it that way. We didn't actually hit our kids, so, but yeah, you want to equal out the swats to the hugs with yourself as well, you know. Understand that it's hard, you know, especially because some of the things that we say to ourselves, we really don't deserve. And we need to be true to ourselves and understand that we don't deserve to be treated with disrespect. We don't deserve to be, you know, patronized. We don't deserve to be hurt. We really don't, you know. And there are going to be people in your life that are going to try to convince you otherwise. Narcissists in particular, you know, they're very good at turning things around and trying to manipulate you into thinking that things were your fault, that, you know, things that you didn't do were your fault, and that you do deserve to be hurt, and you do deserve to be miserable. And it's hard coming to that realization that you don't, you know, especially for those who have narcissistic parents. You know, you were taught at a young age just to accept the pain and the hurt and things like that. Otherwise, there would be even more. And now, having that realization that you are free of that, and you are free to make your decisions, your own decisions, you know. As a child, we kind of have to adapt in order to survive. But as an adult, we don't have to anymore. We don't have to live in survival mode. And that's so hard to come to, you know, because we've got it ingrained in our minds that we just have to, you know, keep our heads down and not say anything in order to survive. But there are ways around that, and that's setting boundaries, you know, and being true to yourself. Sometimes that truth can come with significant change, but, you know, one of the things that Magnetize Yourself has been talking about is the universe going through a weeding out process in your life. For all of the crystal lovers out there, it's kind of a Moldavite process. And what it's doing is basically it's getting rid of the toxicity in your life in order to bring in something better, you know, something freer, something nicer, something healing. And for anybody who has suffered from narcissistic abuse, that's what you deserve, is healing. You deserve happiness. And so with the practicing authenticity with yourself, you know, one of the best ways to do it, as I've said before, is actually sitting down and talking to yourself as if you were two different people, and explaining your situation to yourself as if you were talking to another person. you know. And the good thing about this is that you can, you know, tell yourself things that you might not be able to tell another person. You can actually be truthful with yourself as far as what your situation is. And honestly, it's very freeing, you know, especially hearing your story out loud. One of the things that I loved about it when I did this with myself was that I also made sure to put in all of my achievements and say, well, you know, I may have gone through this and this and this and this, but I achieved this, I did this, you know, I mean, so many different things. And it's very freeing. It's very empowering, actually, hearing your accomplishments being spoken out loud. When's the last time you did that? You actually spoke your accomplishments out loud, you know? I'd like you to try doing that, please. You know, if anything, just start with that. Look at all of the things that you've survived. Those are accomplishments too. You know? Say, well, I lost this job, but I got this job. Or, I lost this job, but look at how much healing I've been doing. You know? Look at how much time I've been able to study or, you know, really do something that I enjoy. It's pretty cool. So, please, give it a shot. You know, be good to yourself. Celebrate your achievements, because you do deserve it. Thank you.